Come on, EJ. Get that countdown rolling.
Oh, did it not go?
It's not going, bud. We're just sitting here staring at my face.
On live even. I screwed up.
You are live. Come on, man. Tighten up. Surprise. What's going
Good
on,
morning.
everybody? It's
What's
Friday.
up?
Hey, there's Miss Ward. What's up, Miss Ward?
What's up?
We're here. It's Friday. We're pumped.
All day.
Yes. And it's take two.
Take two.
Boy,
I'm
I
not sure
really
what
screwed
EJ was
up.
doing over there.
I really screwed it up this morning.
It's
That's
all
okay,
good.
buddy. That is okay, buddy.
We were sitting in the background, and TK says, "It's 8 o'clock." I said, "Oh crap!" I hit the live button and I forgot to do the countdown. So we were just
Yes.
sitting there for 30 seconds, like,
Yeah. I was wondering what was going on. I was like, we're live, dude. Are you going to play the intro or what?
I was
But
wondering
hey,
why you was making silly faces.
we're appliance repair technicians, not video people. So please have patience and grace with us.
Amen. Gasper's happy to see you, TK.
I'm back.
Good
One
morning,
week,
everybody.
1 week nicotine free. I haven't killed anybody, so we're back on the no nicotine thing. So I think I'm past the worst of it, and we're gonna try it again. It's about the sixth or seventh time I've quit, so we'll keep trying to quit until I exorcise the demon.
So, morning grind, freestyle Friday. I'm EJ. This one's TK, and down there is our friend Miss Ward, as we politely call. She's the queen of appliance repair. Is that title still in place?
Yeah, so JT named me that on his reaction video 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Thrust me into the spotlight, whether I wanted to be there or not. You know how it goes.
There you
Amen.
go.
Yes. So, what we do is Bible and business. Oh, we're already 5 minutes in. We usually start with just a little prayer for everybody on Fridays, and then we start chatting. Freestyle Friday means it's ask us anything. So you can control the topics. If you don't, we will. But if you ask the questions, we get to make up the answers. That way we know they're right. So, Miss Ward, you want to do the prayer today?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. Lord, thank you for allowing us to grace the earth today. Thank you for getting us through a week of trials and tribulations, seen and unseen. Thank you for keeping our hearts open and our minds clear so we can execute and be the vessel that you put us to be. Amen.
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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, it's Friday, guys. We made it. And you know, it was I know there's a lot of people out there going through trials and tribulations just like Miss Ward just prayed. So know this, you're not alone. Um I'm going through stuff. EJ's going through stuff. I don't know for sure, but I guarantee you Miss Ward's going through some stuff. And
Mhm.
the beautiful thing is we can go through it together. We can lean on each other and help each other through these times because one thing's for sure, the more you grow and the more you put into this thing we call business, and being an entrepreneur, the more trials and tribulations it seems like come. So buckle up,
Yeah,
buttercup.
absolutely. I posted a quote today about that, and it's for perspective. This quote is from Andy Grove. He was one of the first people in Intel, and he's kind of the father of, they call him the father of OKRs, objectives and key results, to help big businesses get stuff done. The quote is, bad companies are destroyed by crisis. Good companies survive them. Great companies are improved by them. And that's what's really been fueling me this week, is knowing that as I struggle, I get better. And as long as I don't fail, then I'm winning. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the key is we talk about this all the time. The key is how your response to the trials and tribulations. You know, it's all about how you respond. You can't control but so much what's thrown at you, but you what you can always control is how you react. And sometimes I don't react very well, and I have to step back and say, okay, that wasn't a very good way to handle that. And then learn from it and grow and do better. And also use a little bit of foresight and say, hey, how could I avoid this in the future? Whenever somebody from my team comes to me and we have an issue or we have a problem, my number one thing is how do we avoid this in the future? What could we have done better? Okay,
yeah,
this customer is upset. We dropped the ball. We did something wrong. How can we avoid this in the future? What process, what procedure, or what thing could we have done to make sure that this didn't happen? I'll give you a perfect example. We went out and put a microwave in for a lady. It was a built-in GE profile, and turns out that the microwave we bought was that got installed was not a built-in microwave. It was just a countertop microwave. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how it slipped through the cracks, but it happened. So my number one thing is get the customer taken care of and get her straight. But then number two, is how do we avoid this next time? What part of our process was there a gap in that we could have done better so that this doesn't happen in the future? And that's how I look at everything, man. Everything that happens, I want to learn from it and grow from it.
absolutely. Miss Ward, you're like the champion of that, ain't you?
She is
Yeah.
that.
Well, I was sitting here thinking about what you guys were saying, and it reminds me of a couple of things. I think the first thing is that people have to have routines and understand what real personal accountability is. I feel nothing will morph and change until you deal with your own psyche, your own issues, your own challenges. We're all adults, so we know where our flaws are, you know. And so I feel like we live in a day and age where there's so much free information and support. Just that if you really want to be better as a person, you can. Like I was thinking this morning that I should start taping and videoing my morning routines. Like I get up 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'll have some things I need to do with some stuff that I've been putting off. You know how we wait till the end of the day to do stuff, and you're exhausted, so you're not clear in your mind. So you might make choices and mistakes that you would normally make refresh. So I prefer to do my stuff early in the morning. So for me, I break my days down. Like I have a day when I do what I call financial maintenance. You know, I'm one of those people, I'm very big about structuring my business because one of the biggest stresses in business is finances, you know, having enough capital, working capital, and things of that nature. So I'm constantly looking at ways to grow my business financially and having that back end support. So when I need parts, I need this, I need that. You follow me? I have access because I have the resources to create, you know, to have those things in place. You have to find your stressors and whatever they are. Like you look at TK doing this thing with the nicotine. Um, I was thinking about a book by Ed Milet called One More, and it's like one more try or just one more. I forget. I'm actually reading it
The
now,
power
and
of
I
one more.
The Power of One More, very good book. And so what I've decided is that I'm going to read a book a week, right? And how am I going to do that? I'm going to listen in Audible when I'm driving, but I also have the hardback. So because I'm in the middle of trying hard 75 hard again, anybody that knows what 75 hard is, look it up. That's that regimen, and part of the regimen is that you spend 10 minutes reading a hard copy of a book, whether it be, you know, spiritual, business, whatever. You read 10 pages actually. So what I'm trying to do is follow along with Audible, read the book, because I understand whatever I'm pouring in my mind, I don't have room for drama. I don't have room for chaos. I don't have room. When you're really into self-improvement, it reflects in every part of your life. You know, I think we are put here to be so successful and we're perfectly and wonderfully made, but I feel like life gets in the way, pollution mentally, spiritually, and physically. And until you take ownership and responsibility of your person, you know, and really what it is, it means to be of service and truly to be a vessel, I feel nothing will change, personally, professionally, or otherwise. And I'm a big proponent of that.
Amen.
Amen. Well, you're
Yeah,
preaching all right.
I was I'm trying now. I have a plan with my health and doing what I'm doing. Nicotine is phase one, but my big thing is replacing these bad habits with good habits. And not just saying, okay, I'm gonna quit nicotine. But I want to start doing a lot of things differently. There's a lot of things in my life that I realize I need to do better. And obviously the nicotine was number one. I can't really get healthy, physically, spiritually, or mentally while I'm sucking chemicals down my throat. So it's step one. But it's hard, man. Like anybody that's ever struggled with an addiction of any kind, um, if you never have, then God bless your heart. You're a very fortunate person, but it's rough. Um, but you know what? With God and a good inner circle, or as EJ says, a winner circle, you can get through things like that. And all you can excuses, are only going to get you so far. So I had to quit making excuses. That was my biggest thing. I was like, oh, it's a stressful time for me. Even when I told EJ I was quitting, he was like, man, you picked a really stressful time of your life to try to quit nicotine. And I was like, man, I got to do it. I got to do it.
Yeah.
Drop those questions, guys. We want to hear from y'all. We want to know what y'all want to talk about because we can sit up here and jibber jabber all day.
We do this all week. We just call each other, we chat and shoot the stuff, motivate each other, vent to each other. Uh, we want to hear from you, but we'll get Miss Ward to start it off here. What's been on your mind this week?
Well, with me, like I said, just improvement. I'm expanding. I got opportunities in other areas. Plus, I'm just really about increasing my skill set. On the training side, on the business side, and on the technical side, because I just believe in being a 360 animal. So that as I hire and put people in place, I have those touch points of expertise, so I don't deal with drama, that type of stuff, and just really being honing into. I'm pouring into my winner circle really heavy. Like I've been so heavy on these guys, man. You have no idea because I'm understanding. I understand I'm elevating to a level that I'm not going to be accessible, and it's important that the people that I care about and that I have poured into are extremely successful because they're reflections of me and our relationship. So people are, people in my winner circle that are mimicking a lot of the things I do. And so what I'm doing is I'm coaching them through those hurdles that I've already gone through. And my goal this week was not to be selfish. Because of the hurt and the disappointment I've experienced, I'll find myself second guessing, should I share or should I do this? So I remove that because I understand that my real goal is to be of service and that I
Amen.
can't let experiences hinder my ability to serve, people who haven't done anything to me, the people that really respect and I'm very proud of these guys. I mean, they're killing it. Like we're doing these webinars in our circle and things of that nature because it's so important to me with what's going on financially in the world that these guys are solid personally and professionally. They got families, and some of them are one man shows and they were making decisions to leave jobs. I was like, no, 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 build this out properly. You follow me? And so
Amen.
at the end of the day, like I said, people can watch us on YouTube every day, all day, but they have no idea what is behind the curtain of success. They don't understand that I spend probably a lot of time by myself because I'm constantly honing where I want to go. Like I'm a big proponent of two things, like for TK, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Phenomenal, helps you get through a lot of stuff, gives you great tips, and 12-week year. The biggest this conversation we had yesterday in with my crew was, okay, the first quarter is almost up. Where are we? Where are we on our goals and accomplishments? And that's so real. That 12-week year, I mean, a lot of these books I give people, they're difficult, but you got to listen to them over and over again because you'll get into it. We all start stuff we don't finish, but that's why I like The Power of One More by Ed Milet, because you have to give yourself grace and you have to understand wherever you are, you didn't get here overnight. So there's a process. And you have to trust the process, but you also have to live in your own humanity. Like I saw a note about sleep. Sleep is so important. So, like right now, once I finish this, I got to hop on the road to get on the other coast. I'm actually in a place called Lake City, Florida, right now, and I'm headed to Destin, which is we call it the fishing village. But the reality is that I have to be well rested. I can't have no drama in my life. I don't want to hear your problems because I got my own. Pray about it and keep it popping. You feel me?
There
Mhm.
you go.
And I think so many people are caught up with drama, like they're entertained. You look at the world, if it's negative news, people want to hear it. They want to spread the gossip. When you just disconnect from the matrix and work on you, you will be surprised. But I think it's so hard because most people can't sit with themselves. They can't meditate for 5 minutes and sit still. They can't do because they really scared of what they're gonna find out. I mean, when you meditate and sit with yourself, not only do you have to face it, but you got to forgive yourself for what you didn't know, and you do better when you can. You know.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah, that's
Amen.
so true, man. We're so wrapped up in the drama and with social media and everything else. And I'm guilty of it. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not, but it's
Yeah.
so important to have time where you just disconnect, and have that alone time and have that quiet time where it's just you and God, or just you and your thoughts even. It's really something that can change can change the way you operate, when you make time to just be quiet and still, and alone with your thoughts and your feelings and all that good stuff. So that's good stuff, Miss Ward. Thank you. We had a question come through. Did you see that question? I think it was
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. Joe says, how can you tell a customer that you can't fix your dishwasher? It's going to cost too much and they really want it, but it's going to give us problems in the future.
How can you tell them?
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys how I handle that stuff. I'm 100% honest with the customer. I let them know. This is not a good repair. If it's not a good repair, it's not a good repair. And you have to let the customer know that. And then price it accordingly. If you don't want that job, make sure you price it to where if they decide to go with it, it's gonna you're gonna be taken care of regardless. And let them know like, hey, I'll give you a perfect example. We had a unit last week, KitchenAid range slide in, and there was the terminal block and the filter board that connects to the terminal block had completely burnt up. And I checked everything else as much as I could without power to the unit, but I told him, I said, hey, if I fix this, there's really no telling what else could be wrong. There could be something going on with the user interface or your oven control board. Everything looks fine, but until I get power restored to the unit, I really can't tell you much more. So it's all about how you deal with the customer. I never want to tell a customer, hey, it can't be fixed unless it literally can't be fixed.
Yeah.
So honesty and then price accordingly. Like when you get those bearing jobs or those spider support jobs, if you like doing them, fine. But I price them so that if I got to do that bearing or that spider support, I'm making damn good money doing it.
Yeah.
And it's a CYA thing. You got to cover your ass in those situations.
So I add a little piece to the ones like you're talking about the really old and it's got a few different problems, or maybe it had some kind of infestation. I'll add that uh, due to the condition that it's in, I can't warranty this repair. Like I don't know what else could happen. I just can't be tied to it, and I'm straight with it. Like this condition, you got chewed up wires or roaches. Uh, I can't guarantee this repair. I can fix it, but I ain't gonna guarantee it.
If you
And
got roaches, I'm already gone left. As soon as I see them, I'm out the door.
so
Bye bye.
I take off on live roaches. If they're dead and I can't see any of them, I'll kind of I'll proceed with caution. I've had roaches growing up. It's it's not fun, and I don't want them in my house.
No.
So this week I've been focusing on, and it's going to be a year long thing. We picked our word for the year uh, the first week of January. I don't really like resolutions, like New Year's resolution. It kind of like Miss Ward's talking about the 12-week year. Like the difference between December 31st and January 1st is one day. It it's just an arbitrary day. So I want I want to focus this year, this fiscal year is what I'm classifying it as, on efficiencies and cutting wastes. So I want to get better in everything that we do, and I want to eliminate the waste. So if we do better, we're more productive and we make more. We can help more and we can make more. And if we cut the waste, we get to keep more of it. And that's been my focus this year. Is last year I was growing like crazy, trying to not fall apart during winter again. And that's the truth there. Not everybody knows it. I almost lost my business last year. Like I was probably 1.5 months away from losing it. If the slow season had lasted one more month, I would have had to make some big changes. But I got through it. I made some mistakes. I learned through it, and we're growing. I grew like crazy last year to make up for it. So we out earned our mistakes. And now I got to button it up a little bit, tighten it down so that way we not only out earn the mistakes, but we actually make some. And, you know, that's real talk. I don't want to get too far into it, but I just want to know. I just want to let you know, and Miss Ward's really good at calling this out too. This is hard. This ain't for the faint of heart. This ain't something you can learn overnight. You know, you got to work at this. If you're good at fixing machines, it doesn't mean you're going to be a great business owner. You know, there's a lot of people making mistakes out there. And that's kind of where our heart is on doing these shows is we share the struggles that we go through and how we overcame them. And that's what we do. You see the hat, elevate. When we get through something, we turn around and help the one after us. And
yep.
That's what some people has done that to us. Some of them we've had to learn our own mistakes. So,
absolutely.
Dr. Dan, thanks for the love, brother.
Says Dr. Dan's in the house. We got to get Dr. Dan on here one morning.
Exactly.
Dr. Dan, we want you on the grind next Wednesday. Can you make it? Hit me up. We love you, buddy.
We know
I love
listening.
Dr. Man, there's certain guys and gals out there, man, that you could just sit and talk to. And Dr. Dan was at ASTI this year, and he met my partner Austin, and Austin loved Dan. He probably said it like 3 or 4 times, like, man, I really like that Dan guy. He's my kind of people.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, Dan's old school, man. He's been doing this 40 years. He's a plethora of knowledge, but just like he said in that comment, he's still learning. He's still you know, listening and paying attention and learning every single day. So shout out to you, Dr. Dan.
Yeah. You know what's cool about Dan? Hold on a second. He says, I got a face for radio and a voice for reprint.
That's hilarious.
So I tease Zach sometimes that he's got a face for radio, but he's got an excellent voice and he does great on the video. I'm just picking.
Oh, there's a good question. I'll answer this one. You can't, Saul. Many try, but many fail. Often imitated, but never duplicated. But it's a really good goal to set. Try to be as cool as Miss Ward, and if you get half as cool as her, then you done something, my friend. So shoot for the moon, brother. Shoot for the moon.
They call it a BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. One that you'll never reach, but you can shoot for the stars. So I was going to say about Dr. Dan, 40 years in, there's most of the people that started this 30, 40 years ago, most, I'm not saying all, kind of started packing it out when the electronic stuff came.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was able to successfully grow my business in the very beginning because I wasn't afraid to work on Samsung and LG. And this guy, he owns LG. You know, he can fix anything LG that comes out because he has invested in his craft. He refused to lose. Salute to Dr. Dan. Saul says some people have it all. He's jealous, Miss Ward. He wants some of it. Well, we ain't getting the questions. Well, we got a couple. Like, how can I be as cool as Miss Ward? But I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I want to ask the audience, all 13 of you, what are you struggling with right now? What do you need help with? And maybe we can't help you. Maybe we can just relate with each other, share our struggles and our burdens, and maybe somebody watching has an answer. And what are you working on? Let us know in the comments.
Throw it in there, guys. Let's hear what you got going on. I
Dan
know.
says they're now tracking it out because of the R600. Go ahead.
I know there's people out there, business owners and techs alike, that are going through things. So we're interested. We're a community. So it's all about sharing our struggles together and doing better and growing together. At least that's what it's all about for me. I know.
Nobody's bold enough to share, huh?
Oh
So,
boy.
so
Let's call them out.
EJ, there's a good book for what you're dealing with right now. There are two books. One is called The Goal, and it's the continued progress or something of growth. It's the guy's name is Elijah Goldplatt or something like that. But it's a very good. I recommend you listen to it in audio on Audible because of the style of the book. And it's based on Lean Six Sigma and just structuring businesses in such a way. But they tell it through like a story of a factory and how they dealt with bottlenecks and processes. Really good book. And then, of course, the other one is Good to Great by Jim Collins. That talks
Oh yeah, I've
about,
read that one.
yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
My
Yeah.
daughter actually turned me on to that book. She was reading it in high school, and she
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Have you ever read this book?" And I was like, "No." And when she was done with it, she gave it to me, and that's a really good book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I'm reading one more book that one of my mentors, Erica Williams from Classic Climb, she put out called The G Code. It's very good. It talks about the 4 Gs and everything is about principles, man, and holding yourself accountable. Because
Absolutely.
you the only
oh,
person you can change is you.
I
Yep.
made a goal at ASTI with Jenny Seeley that I would read one book a month. And I thought that was bold until you said I read one book a week. And all the books that were recommended at ASTI and all the ones you've recommended to me in the last week, I'd have to read one a week to get them done in a 12-week year. Uh, that's I'm gonna have to start upping my game.
You'll be surprised because it'll be sitting at the front of your brain, man. That's what you want.
Amen. Dr. Dan, he's the brave soul to share his struggles here, what he's working on. He says, "I'm making the transition, going back in the field from having to work for somebody to get my company back on its feet. Made a lot of mistakes last year and the year before, but I'm trying to get organized. Not sure how to go from working for somebody to back to myself again full time." Amen. That's a struggle, man. 40
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, but
40
you know, he's gonna be good though. Think about it. I mean, he's got the technical piece and the areas that he's struggling in as far as organization on the admin side. You know, like when I built my business, I built it around my strengths and my weaknesses. Like, you know, I'm talking to y'all and I'm comfortable here, but and I know how to code switch and turn into that CSR and all that other stuff. But the reality is I keep certain things to a minimum. My business is built in such a way that I don't really have to talk to people unless I want to. But I
yeah.
built it out that way. You know what I mean?
I remember you going over that like a year or two ago while I was starting. And we're really into the relational business.
Mm-hmm.
And you and your style, and you are very successful in the transactional. So when you're in front of the customer, you can be very relational. But the transactions that happen are very transactional. It's get them on the book, online preferably, and then show up. And
Yeah,
they don't have to be there or not. With the clientele you have, you could just come in, fix it,
yeah,
walk.
yeah.
Don't even know you're there.
But
Uh,
I have multiple options though. I built it so I would have B2B, dealing with businesses, government contracts, warranties, and CODs. And my CODs are only high end clients. So they're transactional.
Absolutely. You read this one, Miss Ward? Who
Oh,
moved my
yeah.
cheese?
Who Moved My Cheese is the bomb, man. Great book. People they gotta level up. They gotta level up. Who Moved My Cheese is awesome. I'm also reading the scary book. I swear I hate reading this book, but I have to read it so I can stay in tune. 48 Laws of Power. That book messes me up because I swear it's weird. It's a little too dark for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maurice Sharon. I got my butt kicked on a built-in KitchenAid refrigerator,
Oh,
1990 model.
oh,
That note, I'm working on my 10,000 hours of mastery.
yeah,
Amen.
yeah, good
You
for
know,
you.
that's part of it. That's part of it. I mean, every bit of it, you got to know where your strengths and weaknesses are. And, and I like that Maurice has identified a weakness. He survived it, and now he's going to improve on it. And that's what it is. If you don't know where your blind spots are, you don't know where your weaknesses are, then you don't have any power over them. But if you can identify your weaknesses, you have power over them. You can make a difference. You can improve. You can learn, train, seek guidance from your winner circle, that other people that are stronger in those areas. That's what it is, Maurice. Saul says, I struggle with keeping up. I want to get back to everyone, but got to learn to let go, I guess. I don't know. Any advice? Uh, just make sure that you make time for me, Saul. You're my rep. You're my rep. Me and Saul had a little chat this week, actually. He calls in and checks in on me all the way from Florida to Kentucky. So I got love for him. That's You got a job, man. I couldn't imagine trying to take care of that many people at once.
Well,
I don't think for you, but
I saw 80/20 rule, man. 80/20 rule. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah,
80/20 rule.
you can't get to everybody. Get to the
Get to
ones
the
that make.
20%.
Just focus on the alliance members, then you'll be fine.
Amen.
That's
Yeah,
my suggestion.
all of our people are good.
Yeah.
If they ain't, they get booted.
I think, and I don't know what it's like being a rep for a supply house, but I imagine that that's a very trying job. You got, complaints coming in, you got issues here and there. And a good rep, a good supply house rep, whether it's Marcone or Tribbles or Encompass or any of these other places, a good rep in those supply houses is worth its weight in gold. When you can reach out when you have a problem or you need to, return a part that's past their return date or whatever it may be. You get a part in and it ends up being used. We've all had that happen. You open the box and it's very obvious that this part is used and has been returned. Um, and I can only imagine that's like. And I don't know the ins and outs of being a supply house rep, but I'm sure that it's very trying to keep up with everybody and make everybody happy. It's just like us with customers. We try to make every customer happy, um, but some customers just you can't make them happy, and I've realized that. And I don't know how you do that from a rep standpoint. I know how I deal with it from a business owner standpoint. I let them know they're not my customer anymore. And love you, have a great life, but you're not my customer. Go find somebody else to fix your appliances because I'm not it.
I I had a fun experience yesterday, and it depends on your perspective on how you would see it. and I'm going to let you know that I enjoyed this one. Uh, Earlier last week, I had a property manager that we've been working with uh, call in and complain about the pricing that he accepted on the repair. And it's a real old timer, right? Loaded with money, but you wouldn't know it. Uh, he complained about the price. So it was like $241 for a belt repair on a dryer. And I looked at it, I said, yeah, he was a little overpriced, but only because he's one of our preferred property managers. So I cut him back down to 206, which is what he should have been at. And he was happy with that. But then we got a check in the mail yesterday for that number, 206, and a little handwritten note that said, please be advised, I will no longer be using your services. No one can afford your prices.
No, here's the fact of the matter, EJ. Yes, they can, and he's not your customer.
Yeah. So I folded
If
that note up.
206 is too much, then good riddance.
Yeah. So I put his note up on our whiteboard in the middle of the office, and I've been setting the example with the team, and even with my office help. They had a difficult customer of mine the other day, and we was talking with the team lead about it, and I said, look, we're going up, we're going to the top, and not everybody can come with us. That guy ain't coming with us. So, and then the other customer that was on the phone, that she's kind of an older woman, and she bullied the CSR and she ended up saying some stuff that she, not bad stuff, but she kind of pushed her into offering stuff that we don't do. And I didn't like it. So I let my office help know. I said, I got your back. If any of you feel bullied or feel like you can't handle a customer and you can't de-escalate it with empathy, then politely say, I don't know that we're going to be able to satisfy your needs. Let me introduce you to another company that will better serve your needs. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Amen.
send them to Chuck in the truck down the street and see how they
yeah,
like that guy.
Chucks and Trucks. I wonder if that's actually a website. Um, I said, we're slow right now. I need all the calls I can get, but I don't want those calls. And that's where we're talking about efficiency. We're getting better, and we're going to the top. Not everybody can come, and those people ain't coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
See that? Marie says Sears is 245. Uh, you know, I I can't do it. If you want it cheaper than that, I'm done. And this particular property manager, the last 5 calls we went on, he didn't purchase the repair, and now I know why. The very first one purchased it, and it was good, and then the next 5 he didn't. I'm like,
Does he not set an authorization limit, or do you not have authorization limits with your property managers?
so he was one of the grandfathered in before I did that. So I got like 3 of them that I accept writing me a check, and we talk about the price. All the other ones, they get a card on file in the initial booking, and they are pre-approved for $300 for the repair. And I tell them, if it's like 310, I just make it 300. I don't want to bother nobody. If
Right.
it's like 330 something, then we're probably gonna call and get your approval. I want this to be easy for them. That's the catch. But I need it to be easy for us too.
Right.
We can't get a hold of you. I need to be able to fix it if we got the parts in there. I ain't coming back because I didn't get it. And we made that mistake last week. We ended up repairing a I don't know what it was, a dryer probably, and it was $350 something, and we didn't get the approval. And I had to own that. I got a 2-star review, and I owned it. Hey, our process is $300 pre-approval. Yours was $350 something, and we failed. We fixed it
Hey,
on the first visit, but we failed.
EJ, Miss Ward, I gotta go.
Time to go.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Are
right.
y'all ready to wrap it up, or are y'all going to keep going?
I,
We should be wrapping it up because I
yeah,
gotta go too.
Let's go to
I tell you,
work. All
when
you
I'm with my
guys out
friends,
there
I can.
listening, kill this day. It's Friday. Get ready. Next week's a new week. Enjoy your weekend. Don't dwell in the negative and the things that are going wrong. Look at the positive and focus on the good and learn from your mistakes, guys. Learn from your mistakes.
Amen. Amen. We'll see you, TK.
Peace.
I tell you, when I'm with my friends, I can go all day. And TK is going to leave or what? Right. Uh, when I'm with my friends, I can talk all day, but I do need to get to work too. I know you do. Uh,
Hmm.
for joining us. Uh, Make sure you check out our sponsors up top. We won't do the full commercial this week, but check them out and make sure you check out Miss Ward's YouTube channel, Solid Steps to Wealth, right there. Uh, have a great week, guys. Miss Ward, thank you.
All right, man. Take it light.
All right.